I never set out to do it as a quick 200 miles. That is physically possible to do in a day. It's not difficult. Here's another portion of it. Yeah. I don't know what the big round bits are on either side. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they were gun emplacements. Yeah. I've actually managed to find a path, well, a path on the way back, so this is obviously a more well-trodden route, so maybe this avoids the marshy bits. Anyway, okay, I'm going to head back to Dunblane now, but there's one other wee thing I'd like to maybe stop off at before we get to Dunblane, so we'll see if we can do that now, okay? And that there is road salt, which will be put down in the probably next few weeks as we start to head into the bad weather, the frost, the ice, etc. And that's why the Harley's getting put away, I'm afraid. So enjoy the last few days, I suppose, because it won't be out in the road salt. So here we are, heading back from Sherrifmuir to Dunblane, and we have now come across something called the Clan McRae Monument, and it was erected in 13th of November 1915. So anyway, I'm going to try and go up this path here and see if I can find another wee interesting item, so let's keep our fingers crossed. Actually, I just met somebody there who saw the name of the bike, Rowweb, and he was just telling me that he used to buy material from our Pitmedden depot, which is in Aberdeenshire. So at least the advertising is paying off. Taking you to a place where on the 13th of November 1715 the Jacobite troops gathered prior to the Battle of Sherrifmuir, and this here is called the Gathering Stone. Now, a gentleman a number of years ago put the metal frame round it, so not too sure why that was. Don't think anybody was going to steal it, but the story is that the Jacobite troops gathered for the Battle of Sherrifmuir, and it's also a place of many of the 600 fallen were buried. So, very atmospheric place. And this is the Gathering Stone. So I just came down that path there, and we head back. Just one thing also to say. The Heart 200 is a 200-mile journey around the heart of Scotland, Perthshire, Stirlingshire, etc. Now, when I look at some of the vloggers, which I've got a lot of time for, Nora Lee and Itchy Boots and Daniel Hayes on $1 Million Bogan. These guys or girls can eat up 500, 600 kilometres a day. Now, I'm lucky if I'm doing, well, the Heart 200 has taken me since June till now, which is November, to complete. Now, I never set out to do it as a quick 200 miles. That is physically possible to do in a day. It's not difficult, but you're never ever going to see the sights and just take the whole place in if you're travelling round like that. So I've spread it out a long time. As I said, it was June, July, August, September, October, and we're now into the beginning of November, and that's me now just beginning to conclude it. I'll be putting the bike away for the winter in Scotland. I think I said earlier, we put a lot of salt grit in the road, so it's not good for bikes. So I'll put the bike into a bubble, and when I do that, I'll do maybe another wee video logging that as it gets put away. But what I was saying was that, the one thing the vlog has taught me is, I've said it's a journey around Scotland, discovering places which I never appreciated, I never knew, on a classic Harley Davidson Road King. It's not about, if you're a biker, I haven't talked an awful lot about the bike, and I'll possibly do that at some stage towards the end of the journey log. But it's about discovering Scotland on a Harley Davidson Road King, and hopefully the two of them will be combined. And it's not about, the biker enthusiasts who are looking for all sorts of wonderful things being done in a Harley Road King are going to be very, very disappointed. However, anyone who's maybe attempting to do this, and to be fair, it can be done, this could be done, I think, in 3 or 4 days, and you could take in a lot of the sites, or most of the sites that you should take in when you visit it. I've picked up, I don't know how many sites I've stopped in the journey, but obviously a lot, and I've discovered that takes a lot of time. If you want to zoom around it, bag 200 miles, say you've done the Heart 200, which I know a lot of people have done that on the North Coast 500, you can do that, but that is not what it's all about to me. It's about discovering the countryside, riding my bike, and just really enjoying it as such. So for the purists also who want to go and discover Scotland, maybe the way I've done it in a Harley Davidson Road King is not for them anyway. So one thing this has given me great experience for is the North Coast 500. I've learned an awful lot doing the Heart 200 about video logging, and how your time is actually just sucked away in various things. From the number of shots you take on a particular shoot to, editing alone takes a massive amount of time. Had I done the North Coast 500, which I'd hoped to do in May of this year, I was really unprepared for it. I was cramming a lot of mileage into 5 nights, staying 6 days, and to be fair, I think I would have struggled. I would have struggled technically with things. You run out of batteries, you run out of SD cards. You take a video and the shoot goes wrong and you've lost it. So all these things, you've got to have a backup plan for some of the events, especially the critical ones, whereby if you lose a video, you've maybe got a backup of something else. So if something goes wrong maybe in the drone, you can pick it up in the GoPro. So there's an awful lot I've learned and what will help me prepare for next summer in the North Coast 500. On now to Dunblane, which is one of the last ports of call on the Heart 200, and a couple of things there we'll see, and then we'll basically start heading home after that, back to Stirling, where it all started in June of this year. So hold on to your hats, folks. And here we are, entering Dunblane. Now we come towards the end of our Heart 200 journey. One last stop, which is Dunblane. There are a couple of things I would like to show you in there. Some famous, some maybe infamous. So let's go forward to our last village on the Heart 200. First stop in Dunblane I'd like to visit is Dunblane Cathedral. Now, unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, which seems to be the default for the whole year, we're not going to be able to get access to the inside of it, but hopefully we can get access to the outside of it, and you never know, might even get some decent drone shots as well, but we'll see. So, what you see here, the Dunblane Cathedral. So I think we can maybe get access to the grounds, but not the actual internal part. So let's go have a wee look. Dunblane Cathedral, one of Scotland's most prestigious medieval churches. Yep. So obviously gravestones seem to be unstable, so quite a lot of unstable gravestones. What a beautiful setting. Now, this is not a fact-finding tour for architects, but the lower half of the cathedral was built in the 11th century, and the upper half added in the 15th. So every one of these gravestones is obviously with some sort of marking on it, means it's unstable. And there is confirmation. I'm afraid COVID has got us once more. Not sure what the queue's for, but maybe they still have some services at weekend. Well, that is a real pity. That would have been nice to visit there. I think also so obviously that's what the problem is. Everything seems to be taped off. Yeah, there's quite a few gravestones are not in the position they should be. I'm sure somewhere in here there's a memorial to the Dunblane Primary School children, and talking about that a wee bit later. So we leave Dunblane Cathedral and head over to the local primary school. Yeah, there's one other infamous story on Dunblane which everybody's aware of, and I think to admit that would be wrong. So the only good thing that came out of the Dunblane massacre was the fact that the gun laws in Scotland were completely revamped, made it very, very difficult for people to own guns. Anybody that's watching this video from America with the gun laws seem to be so relaxed and everybody has their rights. Don't quite get it. More people with guns, more chance there is people are going to get killed, either accidentally or quite deliberately. However, well, the last few. Of the cathedral, and we'll move on now. So, two famous sons come from Dunblane, Andy and Jamie Murray, Wimbledon champions, both of them. So, there we are. Tennis centre of the world, or it was at one time. Unfortunately, Dunblane is famous for one horrific incident which, you know, travelling around Scotland, as well as the historical things, I think other things have to be, even the bad things have to be noted in places as well. And on the 13th of March 1996, Thomas Hamilton came here and shot 15 children and their teacher in a primary school. Andy Murray was actually a pupil here, I believe, at the time. So I really don't want to go any further than this, but it is obviously, it's a pretty tragic incident, which I suppose if you're documenting places in Scotland, the famous and the infamous must take, have a part in each to play. Here we are at the end of the Heart 200. In the distance, the old Wallace Monument, which we visited. And so our journey ends. It's taken a lot longer. We're coming into Bridge of Allen at the moment. It's taken a lot longer than I'd originally planned, but there you go, that's a bit of an eye-opener. There's so many things to see on the Heart 200 that to fly around it in 2 days I think would be giving it a real injustice. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you for the donations that everybody made to the Marie Curie appeal, which I made in conjunction with the North Coast 500. I'm very aware I haven't been able to do that yet, but hopefully that is planned for the future. We're just coming through Bridge of Allen at the moment. I'm currently looking for a petrol station if I can find one, but maybe not find one in Bridge of Allen. Might have to just go on a few more miles to Stirling, but hey ho, lovely day. And here we are in Stirling, and there is Stirling Castle up there, where the journey began many months ago. Taking a lot longer than it should have, but hey, it was fun. Well, here we are back in Stirling again. After so many months of filming the Heart 200, we started in June and we are now in November, so hopefully my North Coast 500 won't take as long as that, but it's been a pleasurable experience and certainly been a learning experience. And here we are back in Stirling where it all started back in June. So stay tuned and please subscribe to the channel, and I'll keep you posted in some other videos while we wait for the spring to come along and some new adventures in 2021. Okay, so stay tuned and enjoy.
It's not